Before we get started, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing shared here should be taken as legal or medical advice, and listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client or consulting relationship. Every case is unique and laws vary by jurisdiction, so always consult with a qualified attorney or appropriate professional regarding your specific situation. Now that we've got that covered, let's get into it.
Welcome to the Attorneys Resource Legal Nurse podcast, where we spotlight attorneys in personal injury, medical malpractice, workmen's compensation, criminal and healthcare law through focused conversations on the intersection of medicine and litigation. Each episode explores how medical insight strengthens legal strategy and case outcomes while improving collaboration, communication, and effectiveness in medically complex cases. Today, we are excited to welcome Mike Morse, who is the founder of the Mike Morse Law Firm, the largest personal injury law firm in Michigan. Since being founded in 1995, Mike Morse Law Firm has grown to 220 employees, served 35,000 clients, and collected more than $1.7 billion for victims of auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents. Mike lectures across the country on the practice of law and how to build a successful law firm. He was named a #1 Amazon best-selling author for his book on this topic, Fireproof, and owns a coaching company for lawyers, fireproofperformance.com. He is a member of the State Bar of Michigan and the American Association for Justice. He is also involved in many charitable organizations, including Project Backpack, a program he founded that provides free backpacks and school supplies for students in need. To date, he has donated over 300,000 backpacks full of supplies for Detroit area students. Mike has received many awards and accolades, including being named one of America's 50 most influential trial lawyers by the National Law Journal and the Trial Lawyer magazine, Lawyers Weekly Leader in Law, DBiz Top Lawyer, and Super Lawyer's top-rated lawyer. He is widely regarded as a foremost expert in personal injury law and has delivered keynote addresses on the topic at prominent industry events such as the National Trial Lawyers Summit, the annual State Bar of Michigan Business Symposium, and Mass Torts Made Perfect, amongst many others. Mike has also received multiple Golden Gavel Awards for his award-winning commercials and garnered coverage from prominent news outlets and renowned publications such as The Today Show, Huffington Post, and Lawyers Weekly. He is often featured as a legal advisor on local news broadcasts in Metro Detroit. In 2023, he was named a super lawyer and best dressed by Our Detroit magazine. Mike is a native of Detroit, Michigan. He began his college education at the University of Arizona, where he earned a bachelor's of science in business. He graduated with honors in 1989 and then earned a Juris Doctorate cum laude from University of Detroit School of Law. In his free time, Mike loves to golf, travel, and spend time with his 3 daughters. For the latest news and expert advice from Mike Morse, connect with him on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Welcome, Mike. With all of that, I don't know what else there is to say, and I'm really actually amazed that you have time to golf.
Well, that was quite an introduction. See you later. I mean, I don't know what to say other than, sadly, you said 220 employees. We're up to almost 298 or something like that.
Wow,
So a
that's
lot of employees.
wonderful.
But thank you for that nice introduction.
That is absolutely wonderful. And what a testament, part of the reason we're here and the purpose we're here is to serve others, to give others purpose and to have opportunities to grow your law firm, have people working, also achieving great things in life. It's really remarkable to see that you have grown to a law firm of that size. So I admire that. I'm really curious about how you got to where you are today and what inspired you to practice law. What took you from business to law? And then how are you here?
So my father was a personal injury lawyer in Detroit, and I grew up going to his office on Saturday mornings and hearing him talk about cases and clients and judges my whole life. So I went to law school after Arizona to be with him. The first year of law school was great. I was able to study at his office, and we collaborated, and he taught me some things, and I would go to court with him, and I watched him in a jury trial. And sadly, in 1990, when I was in the middle of my first year exams, he died. And so that was kind of a little bit of a crisis. Do I want to move on? Do I want to keep doing this? And obviously I did, and it has worked out. But he was definitely my inspiration.
I'm so sorry for your loss, especially prime time in your life, just getting started on your own, to have that loss is significant.
Thank you.
So, is he the foundation for why you do what you do?
100%.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, in a testament, you've grown quite large in your practice, and you're influencing a lot of other people in their practices as well. What does it feel like to have crossed a 2 billion recovery for clients? Very high dollar amount in recovery for clients that you serve. And did you ever picture that number when you started out in your practice?
No, we were happy to do a few million a year back then. And this year, I think we're going to hit 400 million just in 2026. So the numbers are getting a little crazy. We're going to be at 3 billion before you know it. And I had no desire, no knowledge that this was going to happen, but we do good work here. Um, we love helping Michiganders, and people are calling us, and we don't like to say no. So we say yes to as many people as we can. We actually litigate cases here. 90% of our money comes in through litigation, so we are not a settlement firm. We settle them. We settle most cases before the doorsteps of trial, but we not before we file suit. We file suit on most cases, and we have a little bit different model. It's obviously working, and we think this is the right model for law firms. So that's why we wrote the book, and that's why we're now doing some coaching.
I wanted to lead there from where we were with your success and your opportunity now to share that with others and help them do the same. Can you talk a little bit about that? What is Fireproof, and how are you helping others through that idea and that
So
model?
in 2019, my COO, John Knockhazel, and I wrote a book called Fireproof. And it was basically the 5 pillars of how we built and sustained and got through the fires, some actual, some other, in our law firm. And we've coached hundreds of firms now, and we're seeing that our model actually works. Firms are doubling, tripling, quadrupling in very short periods of time just because they're following our model. And it's super fun to watch. We have a coaching program, and last year we added a mastermind program, and we have over 80 firms in our mastermind program just in a year, which is remarkable to me that people are loving it as much as I love my masterminds. And so that is happening. Coaching is happening, and we have wait lists for certain things, and it's kind of mind blowing.
That's absolutely wonderful. And I think almost in a world of technology, people are craving to connect with others in such a meaningful way. And I believe that program offers them that. How do you position yourself to remain apart from your competitors in all of this work?
So chapter 4 in our book is called Cherry Garcia over Vanilla. It is my belief that most legal advertising, marketing, social media is cringy and bad and vanilla, and they're all the same. And we encourage our clients to find that little special flavor of advertising that we call Cherry Garcia, whether it be humor or animals or backpacks or telling stories. But, half my ads are branding and funny and have my mom in them. And I think people appreciate those over people just kind of yelling at the TV and being the same guy behind a big ugly desk with an ugly tie on saying, call me. we'll fight for you type of thing. And I think people are smart. I think people know what we do. And I'd rather entertain them than just do it the same old boring way. And here in Michigan, it's working.
Sure. And it helps build a human connection too when you can be different. So I can see that approach working very well. So tell
I
us a
agree.
little bit about Project Backpack. We have Project Backpack here in our community. It was interesting to hear that you have founded that and others have caught on, and your firm alone has donated over 300,000 backpacks. But talk about that just a little bit. Where did that idea come from?
One of the TV stations brought it to me 12, 13 years ago and said, will you donate 300 backpacks to this school? Sure. Throughout that process, I learned that there was a real need in my community for backpacks that are full of supplies, and that the teachers were reaching into their pockets to pay for stuff, and I didn't like that. So we started the first year at 300, and then the second year was, I think, 25,000 because I wanted every kid in the school to get one who needed one. Some kids don't need it, some kids do, but I wanted everybody to have one, and it's grown, and the community loves it. And we have offered to our fireproof clients to do it in their communities. Use my link to buy the backpacks at my pricing that is good because I buy so many every year. I give them the logo for free. I teach them how to do it. And I think we're in over 15 states right now. And it's very gratifying to see. It's not my program in those other states. I just kind of give them the resources to do it because to me, it'd be really nice to see every kid in America who needs a backpack gets a backpack. So we're we're
And then
we're we're helping in our little way
sure. And then they all get to have something new when they arrive at school, which I think is a big thing too.
every
You know,
year.
when we
Yeah,
were,
that's
yes,
a good point, Jamie. My kids get a new backpack every year, whether they need it or not. Why shouldn't every kid?
right,
And so
exactly.
that was another premise of not only just leveling the playing field so everybody had one, but why shouldn't they have a brand new shiny one every year?
Sure. And something exciting to look forward to. We enjoy it. We shop for the stuffings for the backpacks in our community, and then we have a local agency that puts those backpacks together. So it's fun every year to go pick out all the items and drop those off and know that kids will have the tools they need. So I appreciate that. No, what a great project. So keeping along the lines of the amount of service that you do in your law firm, I do think that that is unique. I'm sure there are many other law firms doing similar things. But what impressed me most when I was looking through your background is just how much you do for the community. Can you talk a little bit now about Free Ride on New Year's Eve? How did that come about? And it fits very well with what you do in your law firm. But how did that start? And do people utilize it?
Oh yeah, they utilize it more than I thought they were going to utilize it. We get a lot of calls, New Year's and all the holidays, and so for accidents. And I thought, how can we lessen that? And somebody said you can work with the rideshare services and buy vouchers, and people can go in and claim a voucher. And if they use the voucher, I get billed for the voucher. Last year, we had over 30,000 vouchers claimed, and it was a lot of people getting home safe, we hope, because of the free ride voucher home. And I like to think that we contributed to saving a life or saving an accident or something. I obviously, you don't know, it's hard to prove a negative, right? It's hard to prove who was saved because of these, but we do it for that purpose. And a lot of people took free rides home. And I love that. So we're going to expand it. We're going to keep doing it. Some of our fireproof clients are now doing it in their communities, and it's kind of a neat thing.
I agree. And I think we share some of that similarity when you get into work like legal work and healthcare. You're in it to actually make a difference. And it's not just about righting wrongs, but it's also about making a difference for the people that are affected. by such tragic incidences and how to make that better. What is, it's one thing to do the work, but it's another to put your money where your mouth is and actually attempt to make a difference so that you can stop harm before it actually starts. So I feel like there's a connection there. I think from a healthcare perspective, we wish the same. And having opportunity to see the type of work you do opens up work for others to maybe also join in on and make a difference. So when we talk about your area of legal practice, what is the greatest challenge that you see?
I think getting insurance companies to do the right thing, pay for the right treatment, settle cases appropriately. We actually tried a case. It ended Monday of this week where State Farm wouldn't pay a pretty reasonable standard. It was a knee surgery claim, and they only had $250,000 in coverage, and they wouldn't offer any money. And on the day of trial, they offered $80,000, and we had to try the case, and we hit them for over $350,000 this week in Oakland County, which is not how it's supposed to work. They're not supposed to be putting their insureds at work, and I'm not happy about it. So I'm happy with the verdict, but that's a challenge, getting these insurance companies to do the right thing, which they usually don't do. And we're here to make sure they do the right thing, like we did in this State Farm personal injury third-party auto case this week.
So when you're working on preparing for trial, do you utilize experts in your casework, and how do you utilize them?
Auto accidents don't, it's usually the treating physicians. The defense attorneys usually hire a doctor to evaluate my clients, which isn't, they consider those people experts when they're actually just paid and bought for prostitutes, but they do that. And so we have to cross-examine those experts. But if we need an accident reconstructionist, we'll hire an accident reconstruction. If we need a human factors expert, we'll hire a human factors expert. But it's not on most cases.
Okay. So do you use legal nurses then to support your work? Do you have them working in your law firm, or do you contract with legal nurses? Okay. So it's all done through your attorneys and paralegals. That's interesting. What has is that just the type of work involved, or was that just a choice? You don't need to.
I'm sure that some of my teams we use case managers who are nurses.
Okay.
Traditional nurse case managers. It's now in vogue to call your office paralegals case managers. I grew up, we called nurses case managers, nurse case managers. We use lots of those, but they're not, and they're helping make sure that my clients get the best treatment, but they're not helping me write or go through the medical records. Our teams do that themselves, and we've never really had that in our firm. We don't, I've seen that mostly in medical malpractice cases, which we do not handle. We handle, the traditional auto, truck, motorcycle accidents. And of course, if there's a very, very complicated medical situation, then of course we bring in, whoever we need to bring in. But for the most part, we're able to handle it.
That's wonderful. And actually, I've been in nursing a very long time, 32 years. And my career has led me down the path of involving myself in truth and justice, and have found my way to legal nurse consulting. But one of the things that I find in working with new nurses is they don't have an idea of what's available to them. And to hear you say that you use nurses in a different way gives an opportunity for anyone that's looking to advance their career to work in the area of case management in a law firm, where they may be thinking down the line of, I only can look for titles in my career as a legal nurse, when we know that that's not true. So you can get into risk management and other areas. But for a law firm like yours, case management may be a viable avenue for a nurse looking to become more involved in the legal world. We don't all work right at the bedside. We have a variety of interests as well. So I like learning a little bit about that. So when you are working with other attorneys and others that are also attempting to grow, What type of advice do you give? What would be your number one piece of advice for someone either entering law or growing their law firm?
Well, there's a lot. And I mean, it lays it out in my book. But I mean, one of the most important things they have to understand is number one, are they a visionary type lawyer, entrepreneur? And, what is their best use in their law firm? And secondly, they have to learn how to delegate if they really want to grow and scale and help more people. Those are the first two, and there's probably another 30 that we coach on and teach on. But, you have to know yourself pretty well. And then you have to, figure out what you should be doing in your firm and what you shouldn't be doing and what you should be delegating.
So lots of leadership skills and training and really reflecting, which I think is important across all disciplines, especially when you're trying to grow. So do you use in your law firm or in your practice AI? And if so, are you finding it helpful? If not, is it something that you have considered in your area of practice?
We are 100% using AI. We use it for lots and lots of different things, mostly, reviewing large volumes of medical records and putting together timelines and writing some summaries. And it's so far, so good. There's new tools coming out every day, new programs, new models that we're experimenting with and testing out, some voice AI. I mean, it's all new, it's all exciting, and it's not revolutionizing our practice yet, but one day it could.
I I agree. I think embracing it is key and learning how to use it as a tool is key. Are you finding any increased risk in your law firm as a result of AI at this point in its
No,
development? No,
I'm not.
that's good.
Mm.
That's good. That's good. Some people were hearing things all over the spectrum from not wanting to use AI to using it for everything. And the biggest thing I hear, at least through the healthcare realm, I just sat through a board meeting where discussion of AI in clinical judgment is a challenge, and recognizing that you still need that human to go through everything and make sure the content is as it says it should be, versus just, taking it as it comes out in those reports. And I think, at least on my side of the spectrum, that's a key factor. And learning how to embrace it is just remembering that we can't use it as if it were ourselves. We still have the quality control over the product that comes out. So I am really interested to know. I before we hit the record button, I mentioned that I see you everywhere, and I'm very curious about where you have been and where you came from. What is one thing that would surprise others to know about you?
Hmm. I assume you're talking in business.
It could be anything.
Um, I mean,
I was a
it's a good
scuba
question.
diver. People didn't know that about me at one point in my life. Yeah, not something I would do today, but I used to.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I waited tables for 10 years, grew up on the poor side, and I just learned everything that I feel like I feel like I learned everything I know from waiting tables. And that is something that I talk about often with friends. And I, people have suggested I write a book about it, which I don't think I will, but it's being in the service industry was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me as a kid, and it's changed the trajectory of my life. And I think I don't know if that's surprising or not, but it's a very important aspect.
If you're ever looking for a co-author on that book, look me up. I have said this over and over and over to the students that I teach, and that service industry. I was a waitress for many years, waiting tables, and I agree with you. It sets a solid foundation for so many things, not just responsibility, but organization, coordination, critical thinking, memory, recalling detail, right down to whether somebody's shoelace is tied or not at the table. So I think there's an enormous skill set that you gain from working in that industry. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I actually share that same feeling with you. So for the audience and for those who share with others, where do people find you if they need your services? How do they locate you outside of
Oh,
the many billboards they see everywhere?
yeah. 855mikewins.com is probably the number one way people find us, or call us at 855 Mike Wins. You mentioned earlier, if you're a business person not needing an injury attorney, follow me on LinkedIn. Mostly I'm posting twice a week there. People seem to enjoy that. We get a lot of engagement. It's a lot of fun. I have a really nice network of people on there. And, my email, they can always directly email me if they have a question at mike@855mikewins.com. I'm very available. I read my emails. I read my LinkedIn stuff. And I'm here. I'm engaged. I'm still doing the work.
Mike, I want to thank you for joining us today. I wish it were longer. I have so many more questions. I'm excited to also read your book. It is arriving to my house soon, and I would encourage others to do the same. Get on if you're looking for any type of self or business improvement. I have no doubt that I'm going to find myself in the middle of a good read. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank
Let me know what you think.
I definitely will. So, to our audience, thank
Okay.
you for spending time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with someone in the legal or medical world, and keep the conversation going. This is Jamie Gary, the founder of UpVision Consulting LLC and the Attorneys Resource Conference, reminding you the story is always in the medical records. We will see you on the next episode.
If you have found this episode valuable, be sure to like it, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a colleague handling medically complex cases. If you are an attorney looking for deeper medical insight to strengthen your case strategy, or you are a legal nurse ready to elevate how you support litigation, I invite you to connect with me and learn more about UpVision Consulting LLC in the show notes, because stronger collaboration leads to stronger outcomes.